I've been wondering how best to put this story together. Because as you know, we've been hearing about pictures being removed from government offices in different places because of the clearing of house, as we'll call it. And everybody is crying ism. Everybody is crying ism about this. That's where it's based. I think it's based in ignorance. In ignorance brought to us by the education system. The reason these people don't know who these American heroes are is because of the education system. Because they have spent years, decades, teaching victimhood and giving prizes to everybody. A merit-based society is gone, and the teaching of a merit-based society is gone and has been gone in the education system for a long time. So you're going to have things like Jackie Robinson. He's going to be removed. Why? Ism. No. Because you have people who are too ignorant meaning to be without knowledge, too ignorant to know who these people are because they were never taught it. They were never taught who Jackie Robinson was. If they were, what they were taught was that he was a victim. That's what they were taught. They didn't teach that he overcame, that he went to every city in the country and was called every name in the book. And the agreement was that first year, he did nothing. He said nothing, that he had to endure it. Never taught you that. Never taught you that at all. Ira Hayes, a Pima Indian. His photo was removed from the Pentagon. One of the men responsible for raising the American flag at Iwo Jima. Ism. No. What about American history do they teach you in school now? Virtually nothing. Specifically about a hero like Ira Hayes. They're not going to teach you the ins and outs of the Battle of Iwo Jima to the point where you know that Ira Hayes is one of the men who raised the flag on Iwo Jima. You're not going to know that. You're also not going to know that the first casualty in the American Civil War in the American Revolution is a man named Crispus Attucks. And nobody will know who he is. Well, I knew that it was a black man who was the first man who died in the American Revolution. How did I know that? I wasn't taught that in school. It's because I have a craving and knowledge of history. I want to know history. Just like the name Prince Wipple. I knew what the name Prince Wipple was. Most people will think of the Charmin guy. Don't squeeze the Charmin. Prince Wipple is the man here on the left side of George Washington with his back to the painting. And the one to the right, the African-American gentleman you see to his right in the boat, is named Oliver Cromwell. Not that Cromwell. This is a different one. He's an aide to an American general. And I knew that one of the men, I didn't know about the second one. I knew that one of the men who helped Washington cross the Delaware was an African American. Did I know that because of history class? Nope. It's because I love history. And I want to know these things myself. And in the pursuit of history, I encountered these great American heroes who just happened to be Pima Indian, African American. But I was never taught this in school, as were a vast majority of people never taught this in school. Does anyone know who Doris Miller is? If you're in the Navy, you should know who Doris Miller is. Doris Miller is an American hero. Doris Miller was a chef's mate during the attack on Pearl Harbor. And when general quarters sound, as you can see here, on December 7th, Miller woke up. The ship's alarm, general quarters, raced to the battle station, the anti-aircraft batteries amidships, where he got to his position. He found that it was destroyed by torpedo. He returned to deck. Because of his physical prowess, was assigned to carry fellow wounded and sailors to safety. He carried several men to safe quarters and returned the ship's injured captain. Then, without rest, and before being ordered to abandon ship, Miller fired an unmanned 50 caliber Browning anti-aircraft machine gun until it ran out of ammunition. When asked how he managed to fire it with such prowess, he said, "It wasn't hard. I just pulled the trigger and she worked fine. I'd watched the other guys, these guns. I guess I fired her in about 15 minutes. I think I got one of them Jap planes. They were diving pretty close to us." The West Virginia sank to the bottom of the harbor. Of the 1,541 men, 130 were killed, 52 wounded for his actions. Miller was commended by the Secretary of the Navy, Frank Knox, on April 1st, and he was awarded the Navy Cross. Was I taught about Doris Miller in school? Nope. I knew about him because I'm from a Navy family, and we all know who Doris Miller is, and you will too. The next Ford-class aircraft carrier is going to be the Doris Miller. It's going to be awesome. Can't wait. You know what the Red Ball Express is? I know what the Red Ball Express is. The Red Ball Express is what kept the Allies rolling across Western Europe in World War II. It was conceived in a 36-hour meeting, staffed primarily by African American soldiers. For 83 days, until the port of Antwerp was conquered, the Red Ball Express kept Patton, Third Army, all American forces moving westward. After the Falaise Gap, it was the Red Ball that kept us rolling. I'm going to go with an easy one. Do you guys know who George Washington Carver is? You should. Anything to do with peanuts and sweet potatoes? The Black Leonardo, dubbed by Time magazine in 1941, probably had something to do with it. One of the most prolific inventors of the 20th century. So yes, we see pictures being taken down. We see things like that happening. My contention is that it is not an ism of any kind, except ignorance. If ignorance was an ism, then that's it. Ignorance to be without knowledge. They were never taught who these great Americans were, except that Jackie Robinson had to face the man. Nobody was taught who Ira Hayes was. I guarantee nobody knows who Crispus was. Prince Wipple? I doubt it. Doris Miller? Only because an aircraft carrier is going to be named after him. The Red Ball Express? Probably think it has something to do with cocaine. George Washington Carver? Wasn't he the peanut guy? No, that was Jimmy Carter. So I just wanted to put my thoughts out here that what we're seeing is not a result of ism. It's a result of ignorance. It's a result of the American education system failing the American people decade after decade, child after child, for going back 40, 50, 60 years. I don't know when it started, but hopefully it's coming to an end. But I just wanted to put my 2 cents in on this. If you like it, please subscribe. If you didn't like it, let me know. Tell me I'm an ignorant bastard and tell me why. I'd appreciate it. Hit subscribe and like and maybe even share it. Say, hey, there's this asshole out here talking about how it's ignorance. It's not ism. You should see it. He's really a fool. See you soon.